Are we live? Are we live? We could be live. We could be live. I'm handing over to you while I go and sort everything out. Mr. Simon Cardy.
Hi, everybody. Just let me know if you can in the comments that you can see and you can hear me, please. I hope you've had a good week. You know, I've had a really, really busy week. Been a hard old week this week. Hope you're all okay. Been funny weather. Wind out there's been absolute. Don't know what we're talking about tonight, but I'm sure we'll come up with some subjects. Evening, Stuart. Brilliant. You're the first one there. Brilliant. Thank you. I hope everybody else can hear me on YouTube and other channels that might be on Facebook. It's yeah, hope you're all doing well. And that behind Russell, I think it's either got to be Shepton. The picture he's got behind us tonight is probably either Shepton or Shrewsbury. No, which I'd hedge for Shrewsbury.
Somebody sometime.
Evening, Lisa. Think it might be I'm going for Shrewsbury. And they say, Shepton.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, one and all. We got comments. We have comments.
We have.
Good evening. Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, Lisa.
What's the prison behind you?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine. I would say that is. Bear with me a sec. I would say that is Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
I hedge my bets on Shrewsbury.
I'm not 100% sure.
If I said Shrewsbury, you'll say Shepton. If I say Shepton, you'll say Shrewsbury.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember where I've got that picture from. Right, let's go. Is everybody ready? Everyone fixed in? Everyone ready? Oh, hold on. I've got to crash just a tiny bit on my Mac. Let me turn my phone off because that won't stop. It's on charge. Why won't it turn off? We're definitely out of
retrograde.
Right, let's go. Are you ready, Simon?
Yeah, always.
Let's go. Going to be a bit of feedback just for a minute. All right, just while we play our intro.
As a duly designated representative of the city, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension.
Whoa. Just hold up 1 minute there. It's not who you're gonna call, but it's who you're gonna listen to. And if you ain't afraid of no ghosts, stay tuned for the EGH Paranormal Talk Show.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live and exclusive on Boss Talk Radio. It's Friday, the 7th of October, 2022. And when I say 2022, this year is going quick. This month is going quick. I'm under a month now to the big birthday, and it's scary times ahead. Scary times ahead.
All down after this one, mate.
Well, I think it's down. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to my wonderful co-host, Mr. Simon Hardy. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, mate. All good. All good.
Good in the hood.
I've just seen what we're talking about tonight, so that helps.
Yeah. So it was. I thought you would have seen it on the chat because we was chatting beforehand, and Ryan asked, so I popped it on there, and he brought up a good subject. To be fair, something that we can quite talk about, which includes haunted objects in a way. So yeah, we will be talking about haunted objects. Do you believe in haunted objects? Do they exist? What are your real feelings on haunted objects? Do you think dolls can be possessed? Do you think you can possess anything? Mirrors, objects, you name it. Can it be haunted? We'll be talking about that. later on in the show. So for all of our wonderful Pulse Talk radio listeners, I'm hoping that we're live. I think we're live. It always feels like we're not live, but we are always live. If you want to come and join in the chat and put your comments in, please pop over and join us on the Facebook live stream. And if you're not on Facebook, you can also join us on YouTube. We are streaming live on YouTube as well as we speak. So we're multi-global, I'm assuming.
We said we're multitasking. I say no, don't give up on that after this week.
We are globally all over the world, and we're very much in the global thing because I should think we've got quite a good amount of listeners that are joining us across the pond in the good old US of A today, because there's a big football match going on within the UK at the moment. The ladies women's football team, England, the European champions versus the world champions in the USA. Happening at Wembley, sold out within, I believe, 24 hours.
Good. It's good. It's really good.
So good luck to both parties. But if you're not into football, you'll be joining us, I hope. All watching our ugly mugs. How's your week been, Simon? You've been quite busy this week, haven't you?
Yeah, terribly so. Yeah, I have been. I think I'm through it now. A lot of it now.
Let's just say in the next couple of weeks, guys, there will be a very big announcement coming. Simon and Ryan have been working their little hearts off to get this project up and running. So please, guys, keep your eyes peeled for a big announcement coming in the next few weeks. And globally, you'll be able to also, big meaning globally as well, will have a big impact as well. So you'll always be a part of the EGH team wherever you are. So please just keep your eyes peeled for the big announcement coming soon on the EGH Paranormal Talk Show Facebook. You can follow us, keep us all up to date. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You know, we've got our first season out on Facebook, first season out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of all of our events that have happened. Good old Paul is trying to get us a Halloween special together. He's trying everything he possibly can to get us an episode for Halloween together.
Pull your finger out, Paul.
He's just having a lot of technical issues at this time. But he is trying to get us a very special and a location that played a massive, massive part in the start of EGH. You know, it holds a lot of history for us, probably where it all started. So we're trying to get that episode out at Halloween. No promises, but we're trying. We are trying.
They're coming up to a busy time for us as well, aren't we, actually?
Halloween, All Hallows Eve. Well,
yeah, but we've got two events. We've got one on the 29th and one the week after, and we've got the finale of all finales, I think.
I tell you, I think from the 29th, I don't stop.
Yeah.
From the 29th, we've got whatever it is, we're at Sandwich.
Yeah.
Then we're at Waltham Abbey the following week. Then I'm away the following week after that. I don't know where I'm going, but I've told I'm going away somewhere for that weekend. Then we've got Shepton Mallet. So I've got 4 weekends that, you know, it's going to be...
Embrace it.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
I've had 4 days like that, so embrace it.
Yeah. Russ, do you want to wee the way you are fidgeting? No, I've got me chair up a little bit higher tonight, so I can't feel my feet. I feel like a young kid again. I'm trying to forget I'm 40 in a couple of weeks' time, Deborah, so I feel like I'm a little kid again, swinging on me chair, being naughty. Let's say hello to everybody that has joined us tonight over on the chat. In the chat room, we've got the lovely Stuart Bushell who has joined us. Lisa Clark has joined us. Dana Smith has joined us. K Zombie has joined us. Kai, I should say. I do apologise. Deborah Pitt has joined us. Ryan has joined us as well. Louisa Jane has joined us. Julie Ray. I'm sure this lady here, lady, I do apologise. I've said it again because you really do confuse me, Christian. You confuse me because during lockdown, we used to have a name that was had the same surname as you, but it was spelt with a C, and she lived in South Africa.
Yeah.
Do you remember the viewer that we had?
Yes.
So every time that pops up,
Wendy something. I think it was Wendy or something like that, wasn't it?
No, her name was Christian with a C, Sullivan, and she come from South Africa. We had one lady
South
from.
African woman, yeah, yes.
We had one lady that come all the way from Belgium as well, Nicola, that used to watch.
Yeah.
We've got our brilliant guest and avid listener, the wonderful Heidi Hansen, that joins us all the way from Denmark every week.
Friday.
I'm a modern day mystery. You're definitely a mystery, but I know you're not from South Africa. So welcome to you do confuse me, morning. And that's why it makes it even worse. Because I see the name and just see it to South African. So welcome everybody along to the chat. Hope you're going to enjoy the chat tonight because we are going to be talking about haunted objects. Now, why have I picked haunted objects this week? Because on Monday night, me and Simon was called to a property. I am mentioning no names. There's going to be no names to be mentioned. Just a story. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't ask for names because you will not be given names. The person will be made anonymous throughout all of this conversation, but it was linked to a haunted object. Well, we have. But sorry, I've got to have a drink there. Went down the wrong hole, that one. When we went to the house, we have sort of stumbled upon something that didn't feel right with a haunted object. So let's start off from the beginning. I received a phone call from a person. Obviously, not anything else. I'll tell you what, I've just swallowed my drink. It's gone down the wrong hole and it's got stuck in the bottom of my throat. Bear with me a minute, guys. Oh, I do apologise about that. It's better now. You know when it goes down the wrong bit?
Yeah.
And gets stuck. So you got a call from a person that was concerned with when we actually got there, it actually turned out to be a space of a week. Okay. Of her feeling emotional, having outbursts, going from being very calm to very aggressive, to screaming at her partner, and then to be zoning out. So we go round there, and when you see the location, it's steeped in history. It was a 13th century property.
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, when I first walked in there, to be honest, it was cold anyway. It was quite a cold evening. But I got in there and I knew there was nothing bad associated to the property. That's what I would say. I didn't feel anything evil in there. I didn't. I was looking, obviously, because of the situation. I was probably even calling things forward to show me what they were at one point, but there was nothing evil there. There was spirit there, 100%. A lot of spirit there.
But this was for me and Simon was the absolute best sign that we could have received when walking in that door.
Yes.
There was nothing there that was frightening us off. Okay, nothing at all, which was good. We sat down, we had a chat, we asked what went on, explained everything, found out what she did with her job and things like that. We're not going to mention anything, no names, no nothing, because it all could link. But there was a strong link to potentially what her job was, to where this potential attachment attached from.
Yeah.
And you felt that, didn't you? You felt that from sort of straight away, didn't you?
Probably before I got in there, to be quite honest. I had I sort of had that sort of message before I got into the premises.
But even though in sort of a week before then, you still did feel a little bit uncomfortable at some points, didn't you? It was a bit of a concern at some points but before we actually got there, but not on the day, sort of a week before.
Yes. Yeah, not that we couldn't. It would be wrong to say that we couldn't deal with it, because I think we could deal with most things. But I was getting that message it was going to take more than what it actually took. I think if we'd been there the week before, it would have taken a lot more than what it took.
Yeah, and I when you say things like that, we, and the team and myself take, great sense in that, and great, actually, if Simon is a little bit concerned, then we've all got to make sure that we are on our toes here. So when Simon said that to me, it was like, oh, okay. If Simon's concerned, then I've now got to be on top of my game. I've got to be at point, which was a bit unsettling. But as soon as we got there, we found a car parking space straight outside. We found the location straight away. And bearing in mind, this wasn't an easy place to park. It wasn't an easy place to find. So if something didn't want us there, it wouldn't have had us there.
No.
But
it's done everything that's bad to stop us going in those programs.
But the previous time we were supposed to be going there, that day, my mum got taken into hospital.
Yeah.
If you remember rightly, and it paid dividend for us to not go there that evening. Something kept us away that night, for good or bad. Potentially now looking back on it, it was a little bit both, and we'll cross that bridge when we sort of come to sort of the moral of the story to it. To be fair,
yeah, I think probably if we'd have gone the week before, one of us would have had to take the attachment out of there. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it would have been a fight.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here and saying anything was done to my mum to keep it away. That's not what I'm saying. That's 100% not what I'm saying. Is what it is, how I actually sensed it. So the person in question was telling us a story how one night her and her partner was sitting there just watching the TV, and all of a sudden she just snapped, and things were said at the heat of the moment, growled, whatever, and worried both parties. A week later, in the garden, said that person, another episode, zoned out and used the words to us, imps.
Yes.
Which was quite a strong word for someone who doesn't know too much about the realm, the field, so to speak. And she described that there was imps in the bush, and she was telling everyone to be quiet, shush, zoned out, and her partner didn't know what was going on. But when we looked back and sat down and had a conversation, we walked around the garden. The garden was lovely, very pleasant. The whole ground floor was quite nice. I lit a smudge stick and it went fine.
Yeah.
And then we walked upstairs. Okay, and then that's when, and I'm not sitting here and saying it changed dramatically, but it just changed in general. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a bad feeling. It was just a different feeling.
Yeah.
It was a different feeling to what was downstairs.
Yeah, it took for a minute. It took you out your comfort zone. That's the way I would put it. You were comfortable in the house, and it let you out your zone. It made you start thinking, "Whoa, okay, hold on."
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of feeling. Not bad. I wouldn't say bad.
No, I wouldn't say bad. It didn't make me feel I'd want to run. It
No.
just felt was like, oh, well, it's different to downstairs, but in a different way. So we stood there for a little minute, and it was a mezzanine floor into the bedroom,
Yeah,
and I just walked into the bedroom, and there was an object sitting on the bed. It was a doll, and
Yeah.
it was the most unpleasantest doll that I've ever seen in my whole life.
and then I like dolls. And I don't mind what they look like, but this one. But I think you touched it before I did. You actually.
I had to pick it. I had to generally pick it up. It wasn't a doll it wasn't porcelain. It was just a real creepy sort of. I don't know what it was. It was like a Bakelite.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was,
But its arms had fallen off, wasn't it? Its arms had fallen off and its eyes wouldn't open. Now, straight away,
We know.
we both looked at each other and just knew that this doll had potentially something to do with it.
Yeah.
Something to do with it.
Yeah.
And we started to do a little bit of not major work because it wasn't what was I say? It wasn't work that
It was being guarded, wasn't it?
it was listening
Yeah.
listening to what we was being told in our heads. And Simon said, "Yep, this is what it was, and this is what." And is how we called the owner up and spoke, and deep down she knew straight away.
She immediately know. Yeah.
She knew what we was being called up there for. And when we started to sort of question, and we found out that just before the issue started, she moved the doll from the first mezzanine floor into the bedroom. The arms broke, and this is what we feel
Yeah.
was being cause of the problem, along with work issues as well. I think
Yes.
it was a combined
Yes.
point of what a lot was going on, and how it all combined.
Yeah.
So Simon said to me, if we're going to do any cleansing, we're going to do it in the garden. And that straight away went to me, something in my head just went, it's already been done. It was the imps that took the attachment away.
Or was it
in
the
the
angel?
garden. Or angels, or... But
See,
for
I think that was mistaken because of that person's state of mind at the time of what she was going through as being imps rather than what it actually was coming to help her.
Yeah, but then I know that we go down the route of a lot of people believe that imps go along the side of darkness.
Yeah.
What's to say there isn't good imps that come to help? You know,
Could be.
if you know, it could be fae, it could be
It could be
fairies,
fine, yeah.
it could be angels, it could be anything. And Simon said, you know, I think you sort of agreed at the time, didn't you? You sort of went, yes, because it's not here now.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
And I don't know if you did it as well, but did you say the Lord's Prayer in there?
Yes,
In the house?
right.
Exactly. So there was nothing there that...
Well, you heard me tell her what prayer to say.
Yes, but I when I went upstairs,
Yes, yeah.
one of my one of my signs would be is if I can't say the Lord's Prayer,
Yes. Yeah.
then I know that something's stopping me from completing it. But I said it twice without foul, without, there's always one bit I get round the wrong way, but in my method, it still goes that direction.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. Do you know what I mean? I did not get to finish it. I finished it twice, both times. So that would suggest to me that there was nothing there to harm or want to start, because that would have all straight away would have introduced, it would have got something's back up if we're going along the lines of the demonic that would have been there.
Yes.
Which potentially, when the story was being told by the lady, there was some not nice there, which potentially could have been demonic.
Yeah. But without going into too much detail, because I don't want to do that, but the people that actually lived in there before the lady lived in there were very religious. And I think that's what did it as well. I think that was taken away by the spirit of them who could see what had happened or what was happening at the time.
I would 100% agree.
Yeah, so I think
Sorry, I'm just seeing if there was any.
I think it was taken away before we got there.
Oh, I think so as well. But this is where I say why we was kept away.
Yeah.
I believe that we were kept away for not the reasons that I first believed.
Yeah.
I now believe that we were kept away because
So
if
you
we
already
went
had-
in there, we would have been too brash and harsh with the potential spirit or energy that resided in that time and maybe didn't need that treatment.
It probably didn't need that treatment, though. I think it was coaxed out and taken away in the garden. 100%.
Yes. By whatever you want to believe it, whatever the resident believed, if she believed it was imps, if she believed it was
Whatever it
fairies
was.
or whatever, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it was taken away there.
And that is what is good. Sorry, I do apologise. It's so, I know we're in sort of in October, but it's warm again. It's warm again. It's only because I've got my earphones on. Every time I put my earphones on, I get warm. I wish I could have my ears not on. I need to get them little earbud things, I think, to see if that would work. But
I thought you got them with that phone.
pardon?
I thought you got them here things with that phone.
No, I forgot all about it. But he did say 60 days, didn't he?
Yeah, I think you did.
I'll double check that. I forgot all about that, to be fair. To be fair, it was a manic couple of days, wasn't it? We had all the stock in the back of the car and everything. So,
It was about a couple of days.
but I think the whole situation was all to do with this doll. Now, I believe the doll, just the moving of the doll caused a knock-on effect.
Yes.
I don't think the doll really was the main reason.
That's a creepy ass doll, isn't it?
It was a bloody creepy ass doll. Awful creepy ass.
Yeah, seriously it was. I've seen dolls in my time, but that was.
But this is why I've got onto that topic. Okay, we're talking about haunted objects. Do you believe that they're real, how they work? And when I talk about haunted objects, we'll be talking about the Dybbuk boxes, because there's a haunted object. Well, everything that we can associate with the paranormal, and talking about the Dybbuk boxes and haunted objects. Let us know your thoughts. Okay, do you own any haunted objects? Do you? And that's exactly what we, Maz, one of the team members, Maz, and her partner Jay has a collection of haunted objects. Or when I say haunted objects that hold energy, that he feels hold energy. So let's just start off with some very, very famous haunted objects from around the world. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, there's one called the Bed of Ware. Okay, supposedly made for King Edward VI in the 15th century. The Great Bed of Ware is not a grace place for a peaceful night's sleep, although painstakingly carved for a royal occupant. The bed spent several centuries being passed between the Inns of Ware. The Inns of Ware. Sorry, the Inns of Ware. Over the years, commoners who slept in the bed covered it in graffiti and damaged the fine carvings, leaving the frame looking battered and worn. According to legend, carpenter Jonas Farsbrook, who made the bed for the king, was so enraged by the disrespectful treatment of his work that his ghosts attack any commoners who dare to sleep in it. Lucky for those of us of not of royal blood, the bed is currently safely displayed in the V&A Museum in London.
Right.
Okay, so
Then-
that's one of the first.
Sleep in it?
Would I sleep in it?
Do you reckon you could sleep in it?
Do I reckon I could sleep in it? I could sleep anywhere. So yeah, I think that would. If I'm putting anything, if there's anything that probably wouldn't ever put me off, it's gonna be a haunted bed.
Okay.
There's no. I don't think there's anything there would make me not sleep in that bed. It, if you look at the pictures, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It is a 4-poster bed. Absolutely beautiful. The Bed of Ware, as in the W-A-R-E.
Yeah.
Okay, the Bed of Ware. Which, now would you sleep in it?
I'm just going to have a look at it.
Would you sleep in it? Stuart, I'm going to come on to your question in a moment because that is my second.
Probably not. No, probably not. That wouldn't compel me to sleep in that. No.
See, that wouldn't bother me. Well, beds don't bother me. You know that I would sleep in that.
No.
But,
No, that looks as creepy as book to me.
yeah, but do you think? But it's only creepy because of the colour. If that was pine, it would look bright.
No, it's the woodwork around it. That is the woodwork around that. The carving around that.
But the carving is unique, isn't it? Though the work of art that's gone into the bed is beautiful.
Yeah.
I say that's a beautiful bed. It's very regal. It's very royal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I can't but think that the Queen would sleep in the new King would sleep in something like that. Nowadays, I can't see the royal family sleeping in a bed from DFS. Do you know what I mean?
Have you seen some of the figures on that, though?
Pardon?
Have you seen some of the carving figures on that? If you turn round in the middle of the night, you woke up and you looked into one of them things, I'd be off. No, I didn't sleep in it. I'd rather be down the trust that's forward.
I'm trying to see if I can get some the horrid images that Simon.
Just go. All I put in was a great bed of Ware.
Yeah, but the thing is though that I would be saying that you've also got the Green Man on there as well, which is a sign.
Yeah, it's good, but yeah, no.
There's a lot on there, but I do get it. I do get why the people wouldn't sleep on the Bed of Ware. I do get it. I can absolutely categorically say why you wouldn't. I get it. But for me, I just would. I'd have to. I'd have to just to see. Look, when we went to Leap Castle, no one slept in the so-called haunted bed there. I was the first one in it. Well, last one in it, but first one in it, if it makes sense, because no one else would stay in it. That to me is, but why so we're not, this is.
Why do I think that's haunted?
Well, they're saying it is to do with, obviously, Jonas Farsbrook, who made the bed, was enraged by the disrespectful treatment of his work that he attacks. Now, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that if this is if this is something that can happen, and I did this, you know, and I'm talking about the carving work on it. I don't think you'd get technicians doing that today.
Yeah.
Where would you go and get a bed like that today? It's you know, you couldn't go into DFS or Furniture Warehouse and say, could I have a bed like that? You just wouldn't.
Yeah, wouldn't be on sale for very long, would it?
No.
But then that, you know, that leads me to that. So that leads me on to when I get to thinking of that sort of thing being cursed all them years, or that's where I go back to the Tutankhamun and his tomb. You know, the intentions there. How many people, when they found that tomb and opened that tomb, went in and found him? How many people died? Passed away mysteriously. Quite a few, I think it was. So is that intention that you come in my resting place?
Yeah, but then that's I do get that, but that's different, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's someone's
curse. Still a
grave.
curse. They call it a curse.
Yeah, but that's someone's grave, isn't it?
Yeah.
If someone dug up my grave, or I would go and
disturb his grave. They just found his tomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, that's still disturbing the peace, isn't it?
Yeah, so I suppose
That's still disturbing the peace, and I do get it. You know, with the the disrespectful treatment and the graffiti on his wonderful work. Now, if a ghost or a spirit can then display that anger, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And is it because it was made for royal blood that if you are not of royal blood, that is also disrespectful? Is that a disrespectful thing?
Yeah, it could be.
Does he see that as disrespectful?
Yeah, I suppose so. Back in the day, yeah, I suppose yes.
So if there is anybody listening into the show that is any workers in the V&A Museum, by all means,
yes, let us
please,
for a night.
Yeah, I would sleep in that all night long with all the cameras on me. You know it. Whatever you want, I'll sleep in that, just to say that I don't think anyone would hurt me sleeping in that bed. The only thing that I would probably get hurt by is if people were staring at me trying to sleep. So that is one of the most sort of I've got the what they're calling 4 haunted objects from around the world, or ones that have got good stories to them.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our number 1. So you can see maybe why this is haunted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you think it's haunted? Looking at the pictures.
Looking at the pictures. Well, I suppose if I wouldn't sleep there, then something's telling me
Yes.
there's something wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So there was a comment made by Stuart. Is haunted objects the same as cursed objects? I would say yes. For example, the Hope Diamond. Okay, I've got the Hope Diamond up on my screen now because it is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. One of the most famous diamonds in the world, the Hope Diamond, originated in the Kola mine in Andhra Pradesh, India. According to legend, the stone is cursed and brings misfortune to anyone who owns it. The curse is said to have come about when the original diamond was stolen from the eye of the statue. Hold on. The thief met a grisly end, kick-starting a pattern of misfortune for all who possessed the diamond over the years. Owners of the Hope Diamond have fallen fates including death by murder, execution and suicide, bankruptcy and imprisonment. Thankfully, the curse seems to have lifted when the diamond was donated to the Smithsonian in 1958.
Okay.
Now, I am going to go down a rabbit hole here. Okay?
Right.
I'm going to go down and bear with me. Bear with me, okay? Because it's going to be a little bit of an off ball for our listeners. The word Smithsonian, okay? It is the American famous people work there. If it goes to the Smithsonian, things like that, it gets dated. It's a very famous museum. Let's call it that, or whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. Infrastructure. Now, the Smithsonian are very renowned for workers to telling not so many truths. They've had giant-headed skulls received to the Smithsonian to do all their carbon dated and go missing. When we talk about the Nephilim, when we talk about ancient remains, they've had potentially alien artifacts handed to them to go missing. So for me, there's a slight curveball in with this. I'm only reading it now, that if this is something of that they want, they're going to make up to get it. The Smithsonian is, I think, is a bit of a dodgy cartel in a funny sort of way. It just seems very weird. Do you believe that the curse would be lifted on a donation?
No, I don't think it would. To be honest, I think
If it was stolen from somewhere.
how long's this diamond been around?
Hold on,
Is
let me get the full facts to you. All right,
because that does the image I've got up. No, it wouldn't worry me. That doesn't worry me. If you put it in my pocket, it might. But
right. So, right, let's go straight to. Let's go. First and foremost, let's go to Wikipedia because that'll give us the. It is the Hope Diamond is a 45.52 carat, 9.4 gram diamond, originally extracted in the 17th century from the Kola mine in Gunta, India. It is a blue colour to trace amounts of bourbon. The exceptional size has revealed new information about the formation of diamonds. The stone is known as the Glodionic diamond.
yeah,
The earliest records of the diamond shows that the French gem merchant Jean-Baptiste Taverner purchased it in 1666 as the Taverner Blue. The stone was cut and renamed French Blue, Le Bleu de France. Taverner sold the stone to King Louis of France in 1668. It was stolen in 1792 and recut. The largest section of the diamonds appearing under the Hope name is a 1839 gem, the Banking family. Now, this has changed hands in the early years, and nothing's happened.
yeah. So
Nothing
you've got
has happened.
1600s to 1958. So you're talking, what, 400 years or 300 years? Potentially, yeah, a lot of people are going to die. There's going to be families. There's going to be, and royalty, yeah, you're going to have wars. People are going to be murdered if it's French royalty and all that. So that, I don't know.
Right.
So I don't go with that.
So
But perhaps it is.
I'm gonna say it. I've just clicked on a link that says the 10 victims of the Hope Diamond curse.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll read it out to you. Okay. On September the 11th, 1792, the Hope Diamond was stolen from a house that stored the crown jewels. It's a pretty fascinating little blurb, particular if you're the sort of person who is impressed by 45.32 carat gems. But you probably won't want to own it because it's supposedly be cursed. The story goes the curse began with the Tavernier Blue, which was the prosecutor of the 7 large diamonds, including the Hope Diamond. Take with the wealth of salt because it has never been proven Jean-Baptiste Tavernier stole the diamond from the Hindu statue, where it was serving as one of the eyes. Upon discovering the missing priest,
Okay.
so we're not at the moment. We don't know if he's nicked. There's nothing really to say he's nicked it. But okay, the story goes. Now this is Jean-Baptiste Tavernier. Okay, the story goes that the French gem merchant Jean-Baptiste come down with a raging fever soon after stealing the diamond, and after he died, his body was possibly ravaged by wolves. However, other reports show that he lived into a ripe old age of 84.
So we don't really know then, do we?
That one's off the card. Okay, I don't think there's too many questions on that one, isn't there?
Yeah, it's not. There's not so many questions, but you can't go like that bed. You could probably go and look at it. You get the vibes of it. This you probably have trouble to go and look at it, or maybe you could, but
I think you could see it. I
you
think
get
it's probably
vibes for that.
Yeah. Right now, King Louis brought the stone from Tavernier and had it recut in 1673. It was then known as the Blue Diamond of the Crown, or the French Blue. King Louis died of gangrene, and all his legitimate children died in childhood, except for one. Though that wasn't necessarily typical in those times.
Okay.
So that is a little bit of a different one there. There's a little bit different, slightly different, because there's a lot of people died on that one.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people died.
Could be
Right.
just.
So,
Maybe.
yeah,
What?
could be. Could be. Right, Nicholas Farquhar. Okay, Farquhar worked for King Louis. It is said he had worn the diamond for special occasions. Shortly thereafter, he fell out of favour with the king and was banished from France. The king then changed his sentence to life imprisonment. So Farquhar spent 15 years in the fortress of Pegall. Some people believe that he was the real man in the Iron Mask.
Okay.
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 So the 4 and 5 is another Louis and Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette wore it, and I think we all know what happened there. That's the story. Anyway, we have no photographic evidence that Mary
So we don't
wore
actually
the gem. Nope.
Okay.
What year was Mary Antoinette? What
Oh,
year was
God.
that? We've got to go back quite a bit there, haven't we? So then we're moving on to someone else. This is Princess de la Belle. She was a member of Marie Antoinette's court and was her closest confidant. She was killed by a mob in the most horrific fashion. Apparently hit with a hammer, decapitated, stripped and disemboweled, among other things. Her head was impaled on a pike and then carried to Marie Antoinette's prison window.
Yeah, but that was probably, it's all to do with the French Revolution and all that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a diamond necessarily, but for your information, Marie Antoinette died in 1793. So
Right. So, but according to the, she actually did have the diamond.
Okay.
She
Right.
had the diamond. All these people at Diamond have had possession of the diamond at some point.
Right. Okay.
Where are we going to now? William Falls. William Falls was a Dutch jeweler who recut the diamond again. His son ended up murdering him and killing himself. That's a bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But
Because
you're messing about with the diamond then, are you?
yes, yeah. Now that could be the curse. Because that's very short and sweet, isn't it? And we don't know who William Fowles is. He's not famous by the sound of it. Was a Dutch jeweler who recut the diamond again. His son ended up murdering him and killing himself. That's a bit strange. That
What
could
year
be.
was that? Does it say what year it was?
No, can't help you on that one. Just give us it's just giving us little bits. The next one, this is a Greek merchant, Simon Monadares, owned the diamond. His curse: he drove his car over a cliff and killed himself. What the fuck was that?
You ain't got a diamond.
Sorry,
man.
did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. That was quite.
Sorry, I swore because that
You did. That was
absolutely
a big swear.
that because that is whatever that was loud. That was really loud. I do apologise, guys. I do apologise for swearing now. I really, really do. Where was I? Back on topic before we go anywhere else. What was it though?
No, you ain't still got that doll out, have you?
Well, the doll's sitting next to me. Ain't moved a week, but sorry, everybody. Sorry, you heard me swear. I do apologise. Greek. This was a Greek merchant. Simon owned and the diamond. His curse was he drove his car over a cliff and killed himself, his wife, and his child. So, even though this gentleman must have had money to buy this diamond, which seems to be one of the most biggest diamonds in the world at its time, you know, so that's a bit strange now. Now we're getting into sort of cursing things, aren't we?
Yeah.
People that we don't really hear of. So, right. So then we come to Evelyn Welsh McLean. Okay. Evelyn Welsh McLean was a spoiled heiress who lived a charmed life until she brought the Hope diamond. She happily wore the diamond, and even stories that she would affix the jewel to her dog's collar and let him wander around the apartment with it. But wearing the Hope diamond come a steep price. First, her mother-in-law died. Her son died at the age of 9. Her husband left her for another woman and later died in a mental hospital. Her daughter died of a drug overdose at 25. She eventually had to sell the newspaper, the Washington Post, and died owing huge debts. Evelyn's surviving kids sold the diamond to Harry Winston 9 years later. Winston mailed the gem to the Smithsonian for £2.40 for $2.44 in postage and £55 insurance. Could you imagine that going missing?
Yeah. You're still going to know if you had it because you'd be dead.
But the story takes a little bit of a twist there. Okay? James Todd was the mailman who had the package, who delivered the diamond to the Smithsonian. He later died in a car accident, suffering a head injury that separated his head. And his house later also burnt down.
Could be.
It seemed to me this cursed item or haunted item seemed to, as it sort of got older and it sort of got more changed, that's when it sort of started to sort of pick up its power.
Oh, the negative energy, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You know, the people that we don't really hear of, you know, we know sort of Mary Antoinette, we know King Louis, so you know we're shoehorning the beginning bits in because we know stories, but the I suppose the last one to me is the one that sort of goes, you know what, there could be something about that cursed diamond.
Could be. Yeah.
Because let's be fair, he hasn't got any idea that potentially could be in that package.
No, but I bet he did.
But he could do.
I bet he did.
He could do, and he could have had thoughts of trying to nick it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that. He delivered it. It just says the mailman who delivered the diamond to the Smithsonian. So he obviously did his job to the Smithsonian and delivered it. Oh no, sorry, I lied to you. Let me just rephrase that. I've read it wrong. Apparently, he had a leg injury. He got his leg crushed in a truck accident on the way back to the yard.
All right.
He then 3 weeks later, sorry, I'm just reading another post on a little bit more. 3 later, he had a serious death injury with his head in another accident.
Perhaps it was a bit unlucky.
Maybe, but seems a little bit odd. The Hope Diamond seems a little bit odd.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, listening to them stories,
Yeah.
of all the way going back, we're going back hundreds of years now. If someone offered you the Hope Diamond, how would you feel about that?
I think I'll take it. I don't think.
What is that?
Huh?
Have you got something going on? Did anyone please tell me people heard that? Please tell me people heard that.
I haven't got anything.
Anyone else here talking? Please tell me if anyone in the chat heard that. Good evening, Jim. Welcome to the show. I haven't said that. I do apologise. But anyone hear the talking? Yes. People are hearing the talking. Yes. I did hear that. Where's it coming from? Now, I've had a big crash. It's like kids talking. Everyone is heard what sounded like children talking. Sounded like howling. And you never heard it?
No. Nothing yet. I'll tell you if there's anything.
That was freaky as hell. That was freaky as hell. Freaky. Sounded like Julie. But Jim would also take the diamond. I'd take the diamond all day long.
Yeah, I think I would. I don't think. Because for all its bad intentions, for all them years, people live with it, surely, in good times. I don't know.
A lot of people are hearing the talking.
No, I can't hear anything.
Hell of a lot of people are hearing the talking. That was freaky. Freaky as hell. That was really freaky. I didn't like that because that did sound like children talking. It sounded like a phone on a... Mine's off. My phone is off.
My phone is here, but it's on silent.
It's off. It's
on silent.
That was a bit strange. That was a bit strange. That bit strange. You know what?
Look,
If someone, I
Ryan
don't,
Ryan heard it. Ryan heard it.
everyone heard it. I would, you know, that was weird. That was very, very strange.
So look at it.
That was freaky. I don't like that. I didn't like
But
that at all.
does it not coincide with that bang, though? What was your bang?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Natalie would also take the diamond. Wouldn't take anything from Tutankhamun.
Exactly. You see, that's
But then, what's the difference?
because
In my eyes, see,
no,
I see.
that's burial. Tutankhamun's burial.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be coming from an Indian god. It removed from its eyes of an Indian god in Hindu.
Yeah, it could
You
be,
think?
but yeah.
Me might shock you. I don't think I would take that diamond. I don't think I would. I would visit the diamond, but I wouldn't take the diamond. I don't think I would accept it as from somewhere. I don't know. I don't know if I would. There's something a bit freaky about that diamond. Just something.
It's been a lot of years. It's been a lot of years, and there's probably been people that have had that diamond that have had good lives that you not even been reported on there.
Potentially, but they also could be dead.
Yeah, could be.
Horrific dead.
Yeah.
There's Stuart has put. They say there's nothing as wonderful as children laughing, except at midnight when you know you're alone in the house.
Yeah, that's very true.
Jim would say, "I'd take the diamond and hire Russ to protect me from the spirits." The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Oh, I've done it again. I've a mouth of water. I wouldn't hire me. Right. Let's move on to our next one. Okay.
So the bed you'd sleep in, the bed I wouldn't. The diamond I would take, the diamond you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So we're split on that one.
We are definitely split on that one. Right.
What's next?
This is, I don't know if you've seen it, it's the Terracotta Army.
Yeah.
The Terracotta Army. The Terracotta Army was discovered by local farmers in Axang, China in 1974. The army is an extravagant piece of funeral art that was buried with the Quanshang Han, the first emperor of China, in around 210 BCE. Altogether, the army contains 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots with 520 horses and 150 cavalry horses. The village that the farmers were from believed that the disturbing the army would bring misfortune. Unlucky for them, the belief is the curse as well. Founded there 2000, soon pulled down to make way for an enormous museum. Once again, we're going along what I would be calling the funeral side of things. We're going along the funeral side of things here. So if there is something that's going to be cursed about that, you know, is what I would say is if you found something like this, there's going to be a lot of museums being built around it. Could you call that as a curse?
I don't know. It's not something I would want to go and see. Do you know that? So probably.
I would love to see it with my own eyes. Would I travel all the way to China to do it? No.
It's here though, isn't it? Didn't they bring part of it here at one point?
No, I don't think they would.
Yeah, I think they did. They did.
It's all buried in the ground. I wouldn't go and see it in this country. Christian has actually visited it. I've been there and seen it. So
Yeah, they did.
yes, they
They
did.
did. They did bring it here. Yeah, I thought they did.
So, it was like 4 football fields of pottery people, all handmade, and each face is different. Am I now cursed?
Probably.
There was a display in the British Museum. So there you go.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't. See, yeah, I don't think I'd want to see it.
I'd see it in their country where it was undisturbed. I would definitely see it in their country. That wouldn't. I don't think that would give me any. Not to say any problems. I'd like to see that sort of thing. Yes, they did, and I went to saw it. It was a small amount.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have gone to see it.
Could you touch it? The people that went to see it, could you touch them? Or were they?
Would you want to? You know, the thing is though,
I would want to. You know, I'd want to.
transporting that. You know, pottery people. No, you couldn't
No.
touch it.
Okay.
Very weird. Very, very weird. I find that very weird. That one.
Do I think it's haunted? Do I think it's cursed? Do I think it's haunted? Well, not if you're taking it all over the world.
No.
I thought so. To be honest, no.
But if you is how I'd put is how I see that. Say if you discovered that in your back garden, you would quite in my head would say, well, they're not going to dig it up. They're just going to put a museum around it. Do you know? You that doesn't seem cursified to me. I just think that's common sense.
No.
You would walk around it at ground level, and the pottery people are still in the positions about 8 foot underground, but the ground has been removed from around them. From in big back garden.
I don't know if I'd like to spend. I don't know. Would I like to spend it at night on my own? But then that would just be my imagination. I think if you were stuck in there at night on your own, I'd be uncomfortable. But I think
Yeah, I think you would, because you're looking at, you know, let's in all intents and purposes, we're looking at. So what is buried there? Altogether, the army contains of 8,000 soldiers,
Yeah.
150 chariots, 520 horses, and 150 cavalry horses. That's a
Yeah.
lot of energy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
hell of a lot of dead energy.
Yeah, also. Yeah.
So if you're containing that energy, and how they've done it in obviously all the army are facing the emperor, which is almost godlike.
Yeah, yeah.
So it looks amazing. The pictures of the burial ground, the terracotta army in China looks amazing. And if it would be one of them places, if I ever got offered to go there, I would love to visit it, because it'd be one of them. It's like what's the big heads that I love to go and see? Is it Easter Island? The Easter heads, you know, Easter Island with the heads that all face out.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to go and see them. I think that's
Then I want to go to Dull Island.
Which is Dull
You
Island.
want to go to Easter Island. I want to go to Dull Island.
I can. What are the Easter heads called? Anyone tell me? Easter Island. What are the heads called? They've got a certain name. That someone's going to put Dum Dums. I'm sure they are, because that's on the night of the museum. Dum Dum, Dum Dum. Easter Island had the heads and the bodies attached. Yeah, that's where I would like to go. So that gives me that sort of feeling.
Tiki.
Tiki. Is it tiki?
Yeah,
Tiki.
Tiki.
It could be. Tiki tiki. I am a tiki girl. I am a tiki girl. No, wrong show.
Yeah.
But that one. So you wouldn't go. I would. Because I'll just like, I don't think I'd actually go for the ghost hunting side of things. I think I'd like to.
If I could go, yes, I would go. Would I want to be there on my own at night? No, probably not.
No, but I'd understand that.
Yeah.
I haven't got no plans to give up my day job. I am not Maharo, they're called. Am I saying that, eh? Mahara?
Yeah.
They're cool. I'd love to see them because I think they are something special. The Easter Island heads really would. Right, let's go on to the last one of our little whatever it is. So this one, Moa.
Wow. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So this one will sort of contain, I suppose we can sort of go down a few little rabbit holes on this one as well, because this is called the Unlucky Mummy. Okay, the Unlucky Mummy isn't actually a mummy, but a mummy board or coughing lid of a high status woman who lived in around 1950 to 19 BCE. Discovered in Thebes in the 1800s, the 4 young Englishmen who purchased the mummy all died in unfortunate circumstances. Rumours of the curse soon spread, and in the early 20th century, journalist William Thomas Stead wrote an article on the jinxed artifact. Stead went on to be one of the passengers on the doomed Titanic. It said that told stories of the curse in the run up to the disaster, with many believing the mummy itself cursed the ship's watery end. Today, the Unlucky Mummy is on display at in the British Museum.
We could go and have a look at that.
I'm just going to go back to something, if I can find it, because something is... Where did it go? Where did that go? Because I looked at it, and there may be a title there. Hold on. Hope. Right, so the... Hold on. Right. Miss Evelyn McLean was potentially on the Titanic.
Yeah, I've just read that bit.
So Evelyn Walsh McLean could have been on the Titanic.
Good,
And
isn't it?
she owned the Hope Diamond. Now we've got a link, which is a bit strange, which is weird, which is very, very strange. So let's go down the mummy side of things. You know, tombs. You know, we talk about Tutankhamun, things like that. So obviously the mummy coffin lid is a burial sacrificial coffin. Do we think we should mess with that sort of crap?
No, I don't think we should.
And do you think there is a potential? So when we look at Tutankhamun's, what would you call it? Sort of unveiling, or when they found Tutankhamun,
Yeah.
it changed, didn't it? You know, we heard of curses and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, in all intents and purposes, they were just doing. They never removed anything, as far as I'm aware, but they just found his tomb.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now, is that warrant enough for a curse? Do you feel that warrants enough for a curse?
It depends what, as they broke into his tomb, if there was inscriptions on the wall, like there probably would have been, that said, if you break into this part or if you open this door, then blah blah blah's going to happen to you, or you're going to be cursed.
So,
And
would you be only talking about Tutankhamun here, or
I
would you be talking about any Egyptian sort of mummy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, any high status king, or any high status. Yes, if they had that sort of tomb, they were very high status. Wasn't he? He was a young king as well, wasn't he?
Yes.
My recollection is. But now, if you ask me the question, if I found a tomb, would I break into it? Then my answer would be no, I wouldn't.
And but that is just that would be any sort of, that would be a, what would you call it? That would be more of a respectful thing rather than a disrespectful thing. That's just respect, surely. Surely it's just respectful not to break into a tomb.
Yeah, but
if the tomb, let's be fair. If
yeah,
the
but then
tomb is,
people are not respectful. You've seen places like Cold Christmas.
yes, but
So,
I would have no intentions of breaking into a tomb. I wouldn't have any sort of any, because that's how I would see respect. But if there is a tomb that is maybe potentially 5,000 years old that holds history, then surely that would have to be looked at
yeah, but
in a respectful way.
But would you do that though?
Would I do it?
Yeah. Say they said to you, Russell, there it is, or say, oh no.
If I could get my head into a respectful way of doing it, then
I don't
yes.
think people that open these tombs are that disrespectful. I don't know. I'm not.
But that's how I'm putting it. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Unfortunately, the head of the archaeology for Egyptian was convicted of stealing it, and very likely that many robs were actually looted before we got to see them.
Okay.
I bet they were absolutely beautiful and untouched.
Yeah. You're probably
The
right.
thing is with the King Tut, that the curse seemed to be personal, although some died 6 to 8 years later. But the unlucky mummy, if it was cursed,
If it was a
Titanic,
yeah.
seems
That's
a
a
bit
bit-
unfair to the passengers.
Yeah, you're right. It does. Does seem a bit harsh.
And this is what I don't necessarily.
I suppose it's what we respect. Yeah, Deborah. I think they did all have curses on the tomb, on the walls. I think they did. I think you're right.
Yeah,
So any Egyptian tombs have curses on the walls. Yeah, and why wouldn't you? Because
I just don't. I suppose.
you know,
I suppose if are we only talking about Egyptians here? Are we only talking about these mummies in tombs here? Because
no, probably
I'm
not.
pretty sure that if we go back in time in this country, that
Yeah.
if we look at the royal family, they have their own tomb in whatever it is, Westminster Abbey, is it, or whatever it's been lowered into? No, sorry, in Balmoral or wherever it was. Now I'm pretty much sure there isn't a curse on there. Not to say there isn't, because I don't know, but
I wouldn't think there's curse now because it's different. There's more respect. But
is it a religion thing with the Egyptians?
yeah, but look at Highgate Cemetery. When it wasn't looked after, people were breaking it. Now, has anything happened then? We wouldn't know, would we? Because it wouldn't be publicised.
No, but this is what I'm saying is that the mummy side of things feels very cursed because it was their way of doing it. It was a little bit like greed, and I say that in a terminology that because all their possessions were buried with them. You know, there was a lot of things as like,
Gold.
Christian said, a lot of relics was put into there. So
Okay.
I'd be assuming that was why they would be cursed, to keep that away, to fear, to make people fear to breaking in. Do I feel there's a curse to it? I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
I wouldn't take that chance. If I did it, if there was turn tomorrow, you asked me to go.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit there with Stuart. You know, although some died 6 to 8 years later, that is really shoehorning their death to King Tutankhamun. That's shoehorning their death into it.
Yeah, but didn't we do the same with the Hope Diamond?
Yeah,
We
no, but
a lot of people's deaths into that.
yeah, but at the beginning, yes. At the beginning, I don't think anything was happening. I don't think anything happened at the beginning of that Hope Diamond. I think that was all cack and ball. I think they were shoehorning, but towards the end of it, sort of passing on, and when it started to get cut, and I think then something began to happen to that. And I think this is where maybe something like these Egyptian tombs, if they're cursed, we're talking about a different religion. We're talking about their religion, you know, when we talk about, you know, the Hindu, you know, and things like that, and we talk about the Egyptian, I don't know what they follow. I'm assuming it in modern day it would be Muslim, I'm assuming. I'm not too sure, but I would be fulling along the line of I would be wouldn't if I'm going in there, once again I put that curse to my intention, clear of that intention. If I'm just going in there to find history, not to nick anything, not to thieve anything, and I can't stop people from thieving anything. I couldn't do that. But if it was just me going in there and not thieving anything, then what have I actually done? What have I actually done?
But then,
what is the curse?
Howard Carter, I think, found the tomb. What did he actually do? He might have been.
But he's found it and removed it. He's removed it from its place of.
Found it. I don't know.
It's obviously been moved now because
they excavated it. I don't know. Yeah. So.
But surely that curse would still be in existence now.
Could be.
So it's been moved. It's been once again no different to this.
Yeah.
It's been moved around the world. If it's the real thing that we're seeing in these things,
Probably is.
There's no curse on it now because people are now showing it off, making money from this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Now that would go against. That would be going against. You know, and that's I think is what I'm trying to say is if it was cursed. In a way, it must be a niche to that curse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it could be the people that open this tomb will be cursed. I think that's probably what it is.
But in them days, when was it found? Do we ever got any information on when?
Early 1900s. It was 1900s. It was found.
So, you know, we're looking to 7 to 8 years. Although 7 to 8 years later, there's a good chance that could have just been any. To me, if there was a curse on this, I'm looking at Indiana Jones type stuff. Do you know what I mean? Open the tomb, open the tomb, and you turn into a skeleton. That's the curse I'm looking at. That's how I see it. I think, you know, for all intents and purposes, if I walked into a tomb tomorrow and I died 8 years later and someone says he was cursed, well, I could die of walking across the street tomorrow, but I ain't done anything.
But there was 22 archaeologists that actually died. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, but was it unheard of them people dying like that in them? How old were they? How old did they live to? What did they die of?
I don't know.
I think my head goes to. I can't help it. I think like an Egyptian curse. I'm thinking like Indiana material here. I think your door opens, you turn into a skeleton. As simple as that. You know, if you're going into that tomb and you take out an object from the tomb and put it in your pocket, then I would have a good feeling that that is wrong, and there's I would say not necessarily a curse, but karma should do its job there. Curse, karma, whatever you want to call it. That's how I would see that way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. It does make sense. But again, I do find it strange that it was in quite a close time. It was quite a close time period, and apparently one of them, 5 months after entering the tomb, Lord Carnarvon, aged 56, was dead. At the time of his death, all the lights went out in Cairo.
Yeah, but are we saying what was the life expectancy in the 1900s?
Well, it's 1929, so it wasn't a particularly. Hold on.
I think there's got to be a lot of things looked at. Even with everything that we're talking about tonight, we can shoe a lot of haunted things in. We can shoehorn them out. We can
Of course.
it all about. We can
Of
do
course
the
we
okey
can,
cokey and we can turn around.
I don't know. The noise you're going to hear in a minute is a police car going past the house.
Well, I can listen to a police car. It was the children laughing. It was it's the children laughing out of nowhere that freaked me the bloody well out, and I think it freaked a lot of bin. I've been to Highclere Castle, where there is an Egyptian exhibition, as it was Lord Carnivius's home. It does have an atmosphere. But then I do believe that there is something to do with the Egyptian feel, because without sort of going into a Thursday night show, I think the Egyptians hold a lot more answers to the past than we actually realise.
That will be a big rabbit hole if we go down that.
Yeah. So why is there curses? Is it curses? Were they,
I think, I think
short and crux of it, I think the Egyptians have UFO technology and UFO links. I think that's as simple as it gets.
But I think the tombs in those times would have had gold, etc., etc. They'd be beautiful down there, and I think they were beautiful. So you're going to have a curse put on it if you do go through it. If you find it, discover it. There you go. But I don't know.
So Steph has put, looking online, the medallion found by Howard Carter that had the script of the curse was translated to, "Death will come swiftly to those who disturb the tomb of the king." So seems to be directly to who disturbed the tombs, but who's
those who followed? Yeah, okay, yeah. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it is the people that actually disturbed the tomb, and that was a team of archaeologists. I know you're saying about the being carted around now, but that who originally, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But do you also not feel that it could just be used to keep the grave robbers away?
Could be, but
is it one of them things that let's just put this here?
Yeah, but they weren't grave robbers, were they? They were archaeologists.
No, but the curses of how long did I'm assuming the looking online, the medallion, Howard Carter was one of the first in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How
Lord Carnarvon was one not far behind, I don't think.
Who died first? Do we know?
Carter didn't die first, I don't think.
So it's what we've got to find out. Who was first in King Tut's tomb? That's what we've got to. Howard Carter.
He was. He was first.
So who died first? That's what I would want to know. Out of all the 23 archaeologists,
The first of the deaths was Lord Carnarvon.
so then that would take away the fact of whoever disturbed the tomb first.
He disturbed it with him.
And I get, yeah, if they all went in together.
I think they
then
did.
Yeah,
But
so, yeah. Who
6
knows on
weeks
that
after.
one?
That was 6 weeks after,
He died 6 weeks after.
according to Wikipedia. I don't know how long after Howard Carter went.
Okay, this is quite an interesting fact. Did you know that he was buried in a second-hand tomb?
What, Tutankhamun?
Yep. As you-
Yeah, didn't they do that sometimes, though? Didn't they do that?
5 facts about King Tut. He was originally named Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun has the smallest royal tomb in the Valley of the Kings. He was buried in a second-hand coffin. Tutankhamun loved to hunt ostriches. Tutankhamun's heart is missing. One of Tutankhamun's favourite passions was an iron dagger. So, and this is what I'm saying. If we're looking at maybe the haunted objects are haunted, what's to say that Tutankhamun may have haunted it, but the person's coffin that did.
And it is definitely anybody who disturbs the mummy. Disturbs, not moves it, disturbs it.
Weird. It's a weird one.
It is
It's
weird.
weird.
Don't know.
Very, very weird. It's how you take that one. I don't know. I don't know on that one. Let's go. Let's look. Stuart Bushell, playing devil's advocate. Could it be that this was the first world reported discovery? Then someone died. Then we had the mummy film in the 1930s to develop from there.
Yeah, of course it could. Yeah, of course it could.
Exactly. 100%. Exactly.
Cursing the mummy.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that comment, to be fair. But until I suppose we try it, do it, whatever you want to say.
I ain't trying it.
No, but it would. I don't think there's much more to find, is there?
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'm
we're
more
looking at in Egypt. I
Yeah,
think, is there much more to find? I'm not 100% sure.
I still think there's probably more to find.
I would like to, if we're watching National Treasure, I want to find that big crypt under the floor somewhere with all the millions and millions and millions of pounds. Just do me nicely.
Yeah.
So that is really the sort of end of the the subjects that we want to talk about. But we cannot not talk about the Book of the Dead. What was that? The Book of the Dead. Find that. The Book of the Dead. Find that. The Book of the Dead, wasn't that in The Evil Dead? The Book of the Dead. I'm sure it was. Is the Dybbuk box. We cannot not talk about Haunted with Tut. So has he got the book of, I'm assuming King Tut had a Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about, now finishing off the show, the last half hour, we're going to be talking about Dybbuk boxes. Okay? We at Essex Ghost Hunters do believe that energies do hold a bit of energy. Objects can transfer. Now, in the screen, for all the wonderful watchers over on Facebook, I'm holding a haunted doll up in front of you. For all the radio listeners, I'm holding a haunted doll up called Gwen that was purchased in Wales by Simon, and the actual cottage that we spoke about and we took it to, we had a night of probably not one of the, but some of the most strangest activity that we've had. We've had beds lifting up, the biggest bangs that you could possibly hear, spirit boxes, you name it, it was kicking off. And this was all based on
Yes,
bringing
Gwen.
a stole
It's Gwen.
to the area. Now, there was, I think you had smell of burning, didn't you, as well?
Oh, there was lots of stuff, mate. There was, yes, it was. That was awful. We had people from spirit from behind the cottage wanting to get to people at the front of the cottage. If you remember, it was like a war zone.
She has got an attitude, Steph.
Yes, she does have attitude, Steph.
And that would be, and so me and Simon feel that certain objects can hold energy.
Of course.
You know, you do psychometry when you try and do a reading with your loved ones. If you put a ring in your hand, a necklace, or Simon goes around a lot of locations and he'll actually put his hand on the walls because they take in the energies. Gwen, I don't know if it feels like I'm chewing on her hair. But I don't know what it is. But I need a shave. But Simon will walk around forest and he will put his hand on a tree because the tree may have seen the energy and seen what's going on. So I get the feel that you can definitely have an energy transfer of some form.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most controversial things within the paranormal film is the Dybbuk box.
Yeah.
You know, the Dybbuk box. I think it is very much chalk and cheese within the paranormal field. You've watched a lot of people.
I've watched an American one, I think now, for about 3 times. And I still can't get to whether it's real or not. I don't know whether the guy's just making it up or what. You must have seen it. I think it's on YouTube or whatever. When he opens the Dybbuk box and it's like he was didn't take it seriously. But now he's had to move out of his flat. There was things falling off the wall. And now he's living with his mum and dad, and it's led to a nervous breakdown, etc., etc. Now, if that's true, but I don't know. Are we just coming Hollywood again? Here we come. Are they going to do the Dybbuk box there? I don't know.
So, for anybody who doesn't understand or know what a Dybbuk box is Hebrew. Is a wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk. Okay, a concept from Jewish mythology. The box gained notorious when it was auctioned on eBay by Kevin Manis, who created a story featuring the Jewish Holocaust survivors and the paranormal claims are part of an eBay description. Manis' story was inspired of the 2000 film The Possession. Okay, so let me just click on Dybbuk. The history of the Dybbuk is believed to be a dislocated soul of a dead person. Supposedly leaves the host body once it's accomplished its goals, sometimes after being exorcised. The first term appears in a number of 16th century writings, though it was ignored by the mainstream media scholarship. The Dybbuk polarized the conceptions, I think, of Joseph were the demonic of ghosts. I think there was something also to do with looking after people, wasn't it?
I don't know. There's one I found. It's the act of sticking to people, nominal from derived, and the verb to adhere or cling to, which that I would say could be becoming of an attachment, because that would cling to you. That would,
So
stick to you.
traditionally, Traditionally, the Dybbuk tend to be a male spirit who possesses women on the eve of their wedding. On the eve of their weddings, typically in a sexual fashion, entering the woman through their vaginas. Alaskan play is significant work of Yiddish theatre that had been adapted a number of times by writers, composers, and creators. In the play, the young bride possessed by a ghost of a man that she's meant to marry, and her father not broken marriage agreement. It's very strange, and it almost feels like we've gone from the history of the first looking Dybbuk box. Okay, in 2003, writer and furniture refinisher business owner Kevin Mannis purchased the cabinet from a yard sale of the local attorney of Portland, Oregon. He began developing a backstory, according to Mannis. The carving in the back of it is my carving. The stone that was in the box is something that is a signature creation, mine also. Make no mistake, I'm convinced of the Dybbuk box, the name, the term, the idea. He wrote the creative story around the post eBay. Mannis auctioned the description, including the story claiming the cabinet was previously owned by a survivor of the Holocaust in Poland. He said it contained a mysterious spirit of the Dybbuk. The box had paranormal powers and was responsible for his bad luck and nightmares. Subsequent owners retold Mannis' story when reselling the item amplified their own claims of strange phenomena. One owner, Jason Huxt, director of Museum of Orthopedics and Medicines in Kirksville, Missouri, launched a website that consolidated claims about the cabinet called DybbukBox.com. He reported received hundreds and thousands of hits and created and described it was an internet legend. In 2004, Hoxton sold the rights to the story to Hollywood and subsequent the possession. Producer Sam Raimi was released in 2012. Hoxton later gave the cabinet to Ghost Adventure star Zach Bagans to be displayed in his museum. In 2008, the fans rapper Post Malone claimed a spate of bad luck was caused by his own contact with the cabinet. So, with this Dybbuk box and the history of it, it's a very... Okay, the word Dybbuk is quite old, but the Dybbuk box, I'm not too sure actually exists. If someone gave me a Dybbuk box to open, it wouldn't even bother me to open it. I have no fear of opening a Dybbuk box. I do not.
If somebody's actually doing that, though, to put bad intentions into that box, I believe they can possibly do that.
Yeah, but then that doesn't feel like a Dybbuk box to me.
No, but that's just what it's done, isn't it? It's just
that wouldn't be a Dybbuk box to me. That would be you sort of, to me, that would be going along the lines of something like a curse again.
There's a few of them to buy on eBay.
You can buy loads of them. I've known people to open Dybbuk boxes and they've got like dead animals in it and things like that. I just don't get it. I do not get the Dybbuk box. Do I think it's real? No. Do I think the Dybbuk is real? Potentially, yes. Wherever what mythology it comes from, Jewish, why not?
Yeah.
But if we're looking at the Dybbuk itself, it has no reference to a box. It has no reference to a box. It's a evil spirit that attacks women on the night of their weddings. You know, that's the Dybbuk. Where has the box come from? In 2003. I'm sorry, I'm not digging the Dybbuk box feel. No. But what is to say that you can't encase a spirit potentially? potentially.
Yes. Because, yeah, I do say that because we can put spirits into smaller objects. We can put spirits into something that we can deal with them.
But I think
Can't. At the end of the day, we can do that.
you can see. I can, if I have to remove an attachment, I have only got roughly around about an hour's to deal with it. I can't attach it for good. It's only about an hour in my head. To me, it goes along the cursing lines again. The
Yeah.
intentions. I just doesn't dig it for me. Just doesn't dig it for me. But I think you're going down when you're sort of, you're looking going down the black magic sort of route. That sort of very dark magic.
Yeah.
Shrunken head sort of. So that would where I'd be going with that. I have a folio copy of I can't read that. You're going to have to read that one.
Malleus Maleficarum. I had it for 40 years, but I didn't buy it. I found it in a skip. It's not haunted as far as I know, but I can't keep thinking why it was thrown away. Okay.
Who is Malleus Maleficarum?
I believe it's a book about I think it's a book about witchcraft or like an index. I think it is. I'm not. It's only brain going. I don't know, but I think it's like a witch's book. The Hammer of Witchcraft. Okay, yeah. So it's like a witchcraft index.
Oh.
I'd like to have a look at it, Stuart.
Yeah, so would I. Bring it into the shop one day. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, just not working down on my own, please.
I'd love to see that. That would really intrigue me. But you're right. I can't help thinking why it was thrown away. I get that. I think that is, I've got a book that I don't know where it's come from.
Oh, I forgot.
I have a book up there in a yellow bag, and I don't know what it is. It sits behind me. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it's come from. Yeah, I'll bring it in one day. Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's about the evil intentions of the witch. The help of the devil.
So that would be interesting to see why it was thrown away.
Yeah.
But you've had it for 40 years and it hasn't caused you any problems, as far as I'm aware, Stuart. I can't see it causing, if it was haunted, potentially it hasn't caused you any problems, but perhaps it's found the home that it needs to find. But when it comes to sort of the Dybbuk boxes, I think I'm out on that one.
I
think I'm out.
I don't know. I can't get to I can't get to the bottom of the person that's opened it. Whether that is a load of baloney, I don't know.
It's the one that I'm thinking I'd like to be a bit taller, though. I can't help you on that one. Stand on the book. You might get a couple more inches. If it's the one I'm thinking, if it's the video that I'm thinking about, yeah, it doesn't really fit for me, to be fair.
I don't know. As I say, I've watched it. If I watch it again, it's going to be for the fourth time, and I don't know.
But what do we think, guys? What do we think in the chat? Do you believe in Dybbuk boxes? Is it something that you would do?
Or do you believe you can pass evil intentions into objects?
Who, me? You asking that question to me?
Anybody.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Can you curse an object?
But then you sort of go on that sort of thing would be voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Voodoo doll. That's
So if we can say we can curse a doll, in which we,
I'm not.
and I have seen good demonstrations of that actually, not ones that are doing it intentionally, but I have seen good demonstrations, and they're not out to kill each other; they're just out to. It's an experiment, and it works. So if you can do that into a doll, and put that intention into a wooden doll or a cloth doll or whatever doll, why can't you put it into a box? Why can't you put it into a book?
Yeah, but with a voodoo doll, it's an intention to harm, isn't it? One of the practices in sticking pins in it to harm. On intention at that point in moment in time to harm somebody.
Yes.
Now, a Dybbuk box, or what we're calling a Dybbuk box, is a containment of an energy, not to harm somebody. I don't get the. I suppose what I'm is trying with a voodoo doll. I understand the concept of it.
Yeah.
So I can actually understand the intentions to harm somebody. But with a Dybbuk box, I can't understand what it's there for. To encase a dark spirit for someone to open.
Yeah.
You don't. Let's be fair. If someone come up to you and went, "Okay, here's a Dybbuk box. Open it up," you'd be all right, fine. But if you don't invent a spirit box to harm somebody. That's what I'm saying.
See, I don't know if I would open a Dybbuk box. I don't know as if I would.
That wouldn't bother me at all because I don't think
that will bother me. That will bother me. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, no. To me, because it hasn't been done to harm me. Hasn't been done to harm me.
Yeah, but there's a harmful intention to anybody who opens that box. So you're opening that box. It hasn't been done to harm you, but the intention's gone into that box. So when you open it, you get bad shit. Oh, sorry,
but has it? Has it?
Yeah, yeah. If I've done that to a box, yeah.
It's not to harm you, though, is it? It's not to harm.
It's to harm whoever opens that box up.
But that's only if you put that intent. If that's only if you put that intention into it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I can invent a Dybbuk box to do totally the opposite.
Yeah, but you can do a voodoo doll to do good things.
Yeah, but the intention of a voodoo doll throughout time is to harm.
No, actually, and to heal. Actually, and to heal.
In the first common practice of a voodoo doll was to harm.
Was it?
Yes.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Despite the name of in Hindu voodoo doll, the practice denounced to High Priestess of Louisiana Voodoo. And Louisiana Voodoo was a torturist, so she can heal if she wants to.
Again, it's your intentions, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your intention.
But there is the cult, obviously with
curse and heal. Yeah, exactly.
It's curse and heal, but that's what I'm saying. With a Dybbuk box, why? There's no. You have to open that. You physically have to open that. For me, if I wanted, so this is how I see it. Okay, if I've got someone that I want to hurt,
you're particularly targeting someone.
No. Just like I want something to hurt. Yeah. Okay. So I invent a voodoo doll. Yeah. To harm that person.
Yeah.
I'm getting what I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ticking the boxes. I invent a voodoo doll, a Dybbuk box.
Yeah.
To harm somebody that may not work because they could go, well, I ain't fucking opening that. It hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So what is the point of it?
Because somebody will open it.
Yeah, but that's
eventually, because there's people in life, aren't there? There's people in life that want to cause harm and put negative energy out there.
Yeah, I I get that. I do get that. But it's what I don't get is it's no because that person could have invented that Dybbuk box, then died 100 years later. Well, it's only been invented in 2023. So that person may go through that whole life and got nothing out of it. But that's what I'm saying is I don't get the idea. I don't get
the idea of it, but I think it can be done. I think you can.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done.
Attention into it, but I don't get why you would do it because it's not something I would do. But then I wouldn't pick up a voodoo doll.
No, but I can get the practice of voodoo dolls.
Yeah,
it's to harm. It's to harm, and that moment in time to harm and to hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Which it's not good. I'm not saying we would do that. I'm not. That's something I'm saying I'm not doing. But with the Dybbuk box, it just makes no sense of how it works. That's like it's like a ticking time bomb that may never go off.
Yeah, but that's
what a waste of energy.
Clever. That is what people think is clever, isn't it? There's some people out there that think that's very clever to do. There are people out there, Russ, that think it's clever to do.
But I think it would wear off over time. I'm not too sure. Right, hold on a minute. I believe in transmission of bad intentions, witch hex bags, etc. But on the fence about Dybbuk boxes and trapping of spirits. Still wouldn't risk of opening one. No, and people wouldn't. People wouldn't because it's the same as the spirit board. It's the same as the spirit board. No different to the spirit board. Like we spoke about last week. We've seen something bad happen. It's always in your mind. You know, it could happen. It could go wrong.
But then lots of people haven't seen bad things happen with a Dybbuk box.
No,
it's not publicised like a spirit.
No, but it's the first Dybbuk box bloke has made a film out of it. He's made millions out of it's now the Dybbuk box is linked to evil. It's always going to be linked to evil now. The Possession. It's called The Possession. Whatever you want to call it.
I'm watching that one on the weekend then.
It's called The Possession. Supernatural horror film. The plot: middle-aged woman stands in her living room looking at an old wooden box with Hebrew writing on it and Polish saying, all to do with that box from the interwar Poland. It's called The Possession, 2012. Haunted. The film was shot in 2011. Parts were filmed in a formal mental institution, Riverview Hospital, British Columbia. The story is based on the alleged haunted Dybbuk box.
Right, okay.
So it's got that again. Once again, people are gonna see it as the same as the spirit board. Until it, it's no different to me. I try everything once. I've only got one time to live. Right, what did Stuart go? On Wiki it says in 2001, Mimis told Input Mate that the Dybbuk stock was entirely fictional.
Yeah.
Which is a good possibility of it. He's made his millions out of it though, Stuart. He's done what he wants on the tin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's done what it is on the tin. Sold that story. Whatever he wants to do, well played to him. But he's now made that within the paranormal film. He's now made that within the paranormal film, and then that's now in the paranormal field.
Yeah,
big boxes.
Yeah, of course it is. It's yeah.
We're not gonna. I think your autocorrect has turned on there, Deborah. I've read a lot about the books on the Holocaust, but I have never heard of the Dybbuk box. Dybbuk box, Dybbuk. Okay, Dybbuk box. Okay, not debit box. I think your autocorrect has definitely kicked in there. But we've come to the end of the show, guys. We are there. It is 2 hours into talking about haunted objects. I think it's been a pretty good damn show. I think people have really got into this one.
Yeah, I still wouldn't sleep in that bed though.
Well, I would. Not a problem. Find us the next cottage with a bed like that, unless. But I say a few weeks ago, I went to the Mermaid Inn in Rye, and all their beds are like that. 4-poster, old wooden carving beds. So, you know, cue me up. I'm ready. Take me away, Scotty. Guys, just to let you know that this next week's show will be going a joint show. Simon will be joining us on a Thursday night next week. So there will be no show Friday because we're doing a joint show next Thursday. Simon is coming over to us because we have the Reverend Bill Bean joining us next Thursday on my other show, Journey Through the Unexplained, which will be also live on Pulse Talk Radio and also live streaming. It will be live streaming on the EGH page as well that day. So it'll be a multi-screen. There's going to be banners everywhere because it will be a dual-purpose stream. Okay, so please make sure you join us. Not next Friday. There'll be no show next Friday, but it will be an EGH show and a Journey Through the Unexplained show next Thursday. Okay, with Bill Bean.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a bit different, isn't it, Si? We're trying to link UFOs.
But he linked it last time. And this guy is a very, very big believer in God. And, you know, that's probably going to be one of my questions to him, because everywhere else I've been that believes in God would shoo away from UFOs, would shoo away from ghosts, but he doesn't. And I think it's pretty...
No, and that's what we're bringing... And that's what we're bringing into both shows next week, guys. So please make sure that you join us on a Thursday at 8 o'clock on Pulse Talk Radio, Journey Through the Unexplained show, or on the EGH Essex Ghost Hunters Facebook page. And YouTube will be all live next week. Okay, guys. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
It's been a really good show. I have really enjoyed tonight's show. It's gone just like that.
It's gone quick, actually. It's gone really quick tonight.
And it wasn't planned, but we had a nice conversation. So thank you.
And when we're back, when we're actually back, I want to go on to Poltergeist. I'd like to discuss Poltergeist.
Let's do
I
it.
don't think we've ever done it,
Well,
to be honest.
You make sure when we're back, you tell me, and we'll do it.
Yeah. So,
This house is clear. It's the best bit of the film.
sleep well with those noises, Russ.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear. You can all go back to bed now. Right, guys, take care, everybody, and we will see you all next week. Take care, and we'll see you in the week.
See you later.
There'll just be one advert that takes us out tonight, guys. So please just listen to the advert, and then, because it was very beneficial for everybody. Take care, everybody, and see you next week.
With over 20 years at the field, Essex Ghost Hunters are proudly introducing Cyrus Spiritual Connections, a place for all your spiritual needs, from tarot cards to crystals. Even if you want some spiritual advice, pop down and visit us at the White Elm Garden Centre, Pickenacre, Chelmsford, CM3 4LR. And don't forget to trust the process.
Thank you for everyone that has joined us on Facebook tonight. Take care.
thank you.
Facebook and YouTube. I keep forgetting to say that one. So thank you ever so much for everyone that has joined us tonight on both platforms. Remember, next Thursday instead of Friday next week, dual cross purposes. So please join us next week. All right then, guys. Take care. Stay safe and see ya next week.